I'm a 17-year-old girl, have an older sister, 21, who I'll call Kate. Kate has a boyfriend, 21, who I'll call Jimmy. Just like I said in the title, Jimmy has confessed that he has feelings for me, and he said that he has had them for a long time. Just to clarify, Jimmy and Kate have been together for almost a year, and I've known Jimmy because my sister had a huge crush on him when they were in high school. So I was really happy for her when she told me they were dating, and since my sister still lives at home with our parents, Jimmy has been over a lot of times for dinner, or just to hang out with my sister. During our first meeting, when Kate brought him home to meet the family, I didn't try to be overly friendly with him, but I was nice to him. My sister told me later that he thought that I was a bit too cold to him and asked me to be nice to him. So every other time I saw him, I was nice. I greeted him, talked with him about several topics which we had in common, like anime, which we were both very huge fans of. And I thought he was really cool. But that was it. I had no interest in him romantically and just saw him as my sister's boyfriend. But just yesterday, during a Halloween party our family was having with our friends and family, Jimmy obviously came as my sister's date. I was having a lot of fun. And I remember Jimmy coming up to me and asked if I could help him get drinks from the fridge that our family kept in the garage, and I agreed. On the way there, we were talking about our costumes and how they matched as they were from the same anime. Before we returned to the house, he grabbed my hand and told me he had something to say. He then confessed to me that he had a crush on me and that he was first hoping that his feelings for me would go with time, but he felt like every day he came to our house, his feelings would grow. He also said that he can't stop thinking about me. I felt uncomfortable as he spoke and asked what about my sister and their relationship, and he said that he loves my sister but loved me more than her, and said that he was sorry for having feelings for me when I am still a minor and he is an adult, and that he just felt like he had to let me know I was quiet. And so was he. As he looked at me awaiting my answer, I told him that I don't have feelings for him and I think that him confessing to me will ruin the friendly relationship between us. And I told him that I'd tell my sister because I didn't want her to misunderstand. But he begged me not to tell my sister because he still wanted to date her. And I told him that he can't date someone if he doesn't have feelings for them, and ran back to my house to try and find my sister. I found her, and she immediately asked where Jimmy was. I pulled her aside while telling her that there was something she had to know, and we went to the bathroom, which was fairly quiet, and I told her about what Jimmy had told me. She looked at me silently for a few seconds before going outside the bathroom. I followed her and saw her take Jimmy away by the hand as they went to her room upstairs. I couldn't focus on the party anymore and kept looking up to see if Jimmy would leave the house, but he didn't leave. Even after the party was beginning to end, they were still up there. I thought maybe it had gone bad and that Jimmy had probably hurt my sister. So I told my mom what happened, and we both went to check on her. We found them cuddling on her bed, and immediately she saw me. She told me to get out of her room. I was confused and asked what I had done. She told me that she's always known that I was jealous of her relationship with Jimmy, and that she couldn't believe I'd go as far as lying about Jimmy confessing to me, and said that Jimmy was an adult and I was a child, and whatever obsession I had with Jimmy should end. Then she told my mom a whole other story that Jimmy had apparently told her. Apparently, Jimmy told my sister that we were talking about anime in the garage while getting more drinks, and I began to confess about how I liked him from the moment I saw him, and that he tried to reject me nicely. But I ran off to Kate and told her a completely different story just to make Jimmy look bad. I tried to defend myself, but for some reason my mother sided with Kate and dragged me out of Kate's room. My mother then told my dad what Kate had told her, and my father was confused at first, but at least he listened to my side of the story. But my mom didn't believe me. She even called my aunts who were there and began to tell them, and they were all telling me how wrong I was for trying to break my sister's relationship apart. Kate also came down with Jimmy and escorted Jimmy out before coming back to tell me that I have always tried to get everything from her, and she knew one day I'd try to steal her boyfriends, and my mom and aunts shamed me for it. Only my dad believed me. I have been upset about it, and both my mom and sister are ignoring me. I also cried a lot to my dad, telling him the story over and over, hoping that he doesn't get lied to by my sister. I sent a text to Jimmy telling him that he was a horrible person and told him how I couldn't believe he lied to my family, and he sent a screenshot to my sister. And just a few minutes ago, she's yelled at me for still trying to ruin her relationship and for being obsessed and jealous of her. And I was crying. I just want to know what I should do to prove my innocence. It feels so horrible to be accused of such a thing. I'm not talking to anyone in my house, and I've been locked in my room. Update. Someone told me to send my dad the link to my post, and I did. I think he showed it to my mom or sent her same link because she came to my room and said she wanted to talk to me. I refused because I had tried talking to her many times to prove myself. But she ignored me or refused to hear me out. She then told my dad to try and make us talk. But I refused again. And told my dad that I wanted to go to my grandparents' house and stay there because I was uncomfortable at home. I also specifically said in front of my mom that I wanted to go to a place where no one thought I was trying to steal another person's boyfriend. And my mom tried to defend herself, saying that it was a misunderstanding and that she was ready to listen to me, but I didn't want to talk to her. I think she might have read the comments from my first post calling her a bad mother and was trying to convince herself that she was a good parent in that situation when she wasn't. My dad took me to my grandparents' house on Tuesday, and they immediately believed my side of the story when I told them what happened. And while my dad was still in their house, my grandfather told him to ban Jimmy from coming to our house. My grandmother wanted to confront my mom, but I knew my mom would feel bad about it and probably cry. And even if many people here told me to let my mom get called out by my grandparents, I didn't want that. It would cause more drama with her side of the family, and it would become something big, and maybe they would all end up taking my mom's side, which was Jimmy's side. And I didn't want that. Also, my dad discouraged it for the same reason. So I stayed with my grandparents for almost a week, and it was nice. My dad would call me regularly to check on me. My mom tried to call me, and she sent me a lot of texts asking me to come home, but I didn't wanna. I had blocked my sister on everything, so I don't know if she tried reaching out, but I highly doubt she did. My dad called and told me that my mom has been crying a lot and begging him to get me to come back, and my grandmother also told me to go back for her sake, so I had to. My grandparents took me back home after school, and my mom started to act all nice and sweet to me and was trying to do everything for me and asking for a girls' day out with just me and her. But I refused. Before, I wouldn't question this because she's usually nice to me, but after what happened and her siding with my sister, plus accusing me for trying to ruin my sister's relationship, I wasn't ready to be friendly with her. I also couldn't see her the same after embarrassing and shaming me with her sisters. I think it was around 6 or 7 p.m., and I was in my room and Kate came knocking on my door and asked if they could come in. I went to check who else was there, and I saw it was Jimmy. I refused and tried to close my door, but they blocked it. My sister kept saying that they were trying to fix things, but I didn't want to listen and kept pushing my door to close it. But they were also pushing to open it and actually ended up opening it. I told them to leave my room, and I was shouting for my dad to come up to my room, but my sister closed the door with her and Jimmy inside and leaned against it while telling me to calm down and hear them out. I refused and kept telling them to leave and tried to push my sister out to leave, but Jimmy tried to pull me back and I shouted at him not to touch me. My sister started crying and told me to stop acting this way and to just hear them out. My dad also came and was knocking for the door to be opened, and I said I would only listen to her if she lets my dad stay with me in the room, but she said that they both wanted to talk to only me, and opened the door to tell my dad and my mom, who was also there, about it. And of course, my mom made my dad leave me with these people just because Kate was crying, and she never cries unless it's serious, and that kind of crap. So I called my dad and remained on the line with him and told him to listen, just in case they tried to do something, and my sister was fine with it. I also told them to stay next to the door away from me, and then my sister started saying that Jimmy was really worried when I wasn't at home. And she also became worried because this wasn't me. And then Jimmy said that he felt guilty for being the cause of our family having issues, and then said that he decided to forgive me for trying to break him and my sister up, and that he hoped everything could go back to the way they were before the party. My sister then started apologizing for saying mean stuff to me and said that no matter what, she will always love me and that she wanted us to be close again. She also said that it was fine for me to like Jimmy, but I shouldn't try to break them up because they were very happy together, and that I would understand if I found someone that I loved. Like she loved Jimmy. Isn't that ridiculous? I even find it a bit funny. I asked my dad if he heard what they said, and he scoffed, but my sister started saying that she understood that I was upset now, which is why they got me something. But it was in her room. Jimmy then said that it was very expensive, but he got it for me because he knew I really wanted it and said how excited he had been to give it to me. My sister then asked if she could give me a hug for making up, and then she said that we should go together with my mom for a girls' day out to make up, and I told her and her boyfriend to get out of my room. Jimmy then said that they were just trying to make up with me, and that they both missed hanging out with me, and I told him to shut up and never talk to me again. I then told my sister that as long as she thought I liked Jimmy, and as long as she believed Jimmy's side of the story over mine, I didn't want her to talk to me, and I didn't want her in my room too. And that they should leave. Kate got mad and shouted at me, saying that I was being mean and that despite the fact that I was trying to break them apart, she still wanted to be the bigger person and make up with me. My mom then came to the room. I think she was listening with my dad, or standing outside my door, and said that we should all get along and the fight should end, because we were all acting childish. Because of it, Jimmy was acting all innocent the whole time, nodding and agreeing with everything. I still don't understand why they're trying to make everything seem like it was before. After publicly humiliating me in front of the family for telling them the truth about Jimmy, I told my dad to come and help me out of this situation, and he came and told them not to force me to talk to them when I didn't want to. And my sister insisted that we should make up as a family. And Jimmy nodded again in agreement and started telling me to listen to my mom and forget about it, because they already did. And I swear I wanted to knock him out so bad I told them to get out of my room or I'd go back to my grandparents' house. And this time I wouldn't return. And my mom now started crying and said I was going too far. But they left. My dad stayed, and I told him that I wanted to go back to my grandparents' house and stay there until I finished school since I'm a senior. But my dad refused and said he didn't want us to be separated again and that he'll find a solution for it. I've been wondering what I should do. Jimmy is still here, and he had been knocking on my door, which was locked after dinner, and telling me to take his gift. Which, by the way, is a figurine of an anime character called Gojo from an anime called Jujutsu Kaisen, the one we both liked, and he said that it costed more than $300. And since he spent all that money, I should take it. My dad told me not to take it, but I wasn't planning on doing it either. My dad has also told him to stop trying to talk to me and to stop coming in my space because he's making me uncomfortable. But it made both my sister and dad to argue. My sister said it's not necessary to stop Jimmy from coming close to me because he has zero interest in children like me, and dropped her nice act after that. You guys told me to tell my dad to ban him from coming to our house, and he did. But my mom and sister were against it, and my parents even argued over it. But it doesn't really surprise me that Jimmy is still around, even right now. As I am making this post, I think he might believe that what he did wasn't wrong if my sister didn't believe me. Plus, Kate said she'd move out if he was banned from coming to our house, and my mom cried about it and begged her not to, while arguing more with my dad. And so, that's not happening soon. Unfortunately, I don't want to be alone with him to record our conversation because I don't know what he can do to me when we are alone. So I'm sorry, but I won't do that. So far, when he's talking to me, it's mostly him talking about his gift and how he really wants me to take it, and I don't feel comfortable taking anything from him. My sister also can't force me to take it because it was expensive, but I don't care. Also during dinner, my sister said that she was uncomfortable now that I'm around, and was saying that I ruined the peaceful atmosphere that was there in the house before I came back. She even said that because of me making accusations towards Jimmy, I ruined the happiness our family had, and also almost ruined her relationship. My dad yelled at her to stop saying stuff like that to me, and my sister yelled that only my mom loved her, and that my dad and I were nothing to her, blah, blah, blah. Honestly, I don't know what her problem is, but I feel like it's kind of my fault that everything happened. There's been a lot of arguments between my family members, and it's making me feel bad. Maybe I shouldn't have told my sister about Jimmy's confession, but I really did it with no bad intentions. And because I didn't want to hurt my sister, but she didn't even believe me, and neither did my mom. She said she believes my side of the story, but then goes ahead and still sides with my sister. That's mostly why I don't want to talk to her. It's honestly upsetting, and I really want to leave again. I also wanted to clarify that I am not a bad person or trouble kid. Many people commented saying that maybe there must be a reason why my mom didn't believe me and took my sister's side or something similar. Probably happened that made my mom not believe me, but nothing ever happened like this. And believe it or not, my mother has always been this way. She's always taken my sister's word for everything. Ever since I was a child. It's hard to understand, but I'm sure there are many people with mothers like mine. I wish my update post would have been of Jimmy getting what he deserved. But I've just gotten back home, and I think it's too early for that to happen. Also, with the way my sister is acting, I don't think I'll be clearing my name anytime soon. So I hope she finds him cheating on her and knows that I warned her about him. Thank you once again for all the kind words. I'm sorry that I was not able to respond to many comments or messages, but I'm grateful for every comment. Sorry about my long post. Also, I made this post at AM hours and have been having trouble posting it. Thank you to the kind person that helped me. Top comments. Somebody said, I get that family dynamics are complicated, but if I had a teenage daughter being trapped in her room by the adult man who made a pass at her and the sister who turned on her, that door would have been taken off the hinges. Hell, even without the context, two adults trapping a teenager in a room and not allowing a witness in is not cool. Original poster's dad is a decent guy for actually listening to his daughter, but the lack of assertiveness here isn't ideal. Ban the scumbag from the house and let the sister move out if she insists. Those parents will be losing a daughter either way. Someone said, "Don't ever think you're at fault for this." Ever another commenter. It isn't your fault. The thing your sister is missing or not clicking for her is normally when someone is trying to steal away someone else's man. They don't tell on themselves. The person trying to steal the guy does it behind the other person's back. Honestly, ask your sister these questions, even if you put it in a letter because you can't have an actual healthy conversation right now. If logically you actually wanted to steal Jimmy, why would you blow up your own plan by immediately going to her? Jimmy didn't immediately go to her. He only backtracked when confronted. If he is the one who is the hurt party here, then why would he be trying to buy back your affections with expensive gifts? That makes no sense. If Jimmy doesn't feel comfortable around you, then why does he keep insisting on forcing himself into your home and your space and not having Kate come to him or hang outside the house? Why, if you want him so badly in your sister's mind, would you be trying your damnedest to get out of the house and away from him? I'll be real. I think she knows deep down you are telling the truth but doesn't want to admit it. Because that would mean breaking up with him. She is picking him over you. She is putting your safety in danger. You need to tell your dad that it will hurt the family to separate, but you deserve to feel safe. If they don't actively ban him, then you will have to leave. You need to emphasize that your safety trumps putting on a family facade of togetherness. Talk to your grandparents again if your parents continue to not budge and explain how your family is putting you in danger every time he is over. He is trying to win you back right in front of your sister's face, and she is still in denial. He has not stopped his pursuit of you. You are the clear victim here. And your dad and mom are going to have to put their personal feelings aside for your mental. And not to scare you, but physical well-being. Or you need to just go straight to your grandparents. This is not okay. I am so sorry you are dealing with this creep.